Much of the country's in a deep freeze, which prompts Lisa Guerrero to sound the warning. If you're going out Valentine's Day, put your coat on.
I have my sweatshirt, my UVM sweatshirt, so I'll be okay.
It's freezing out, but you'd never know it by how some of these college students are dressed for a night out on the town.
It's freezing right now.
It's cold, but you bite the bullet and just go.
You are tough.
The two of you aren't wearing a coat at all.
Yeah. Right.
So is that kind of typical here? Do girls go out without coats? And if
Yes.
so,
Yes, for sure.
Definitely.
Why?
I think fashion definitely dominates over warmth.
By day, we saw most students at the University of Vermont bundled up. Hats, gloves, and thick coats. But at night, it was a different story.
It feels good right now.
This is warm for us.
And it wasn't just the girls.
I had a good amount of wine before this, and that's my coat.
We also heard a lot of this.
If there's not a coat room, I'm not comfortable leaving my coat on the floor.
Oh, we just got out of the car. We were just walking in.
Okay, so
Like the Uber's right there.
For 8 years, Eric Shangra has been working security at the popular nightclub Red Square.
There's lines out here. People are standing in line.
do you ever say anything to them?
Oh, absolutely. I'll literally have females stand in front of me shivering with a tank top on. I'm like, what are you doing? Where's your jacket?
And we usually will just go in right in an Uber. Or like to the next bar and we run. We're runners, so like we'll just run there.
But what some of these students might not realize is that a fun night out can turn tragic. As temperatures drop, hypothermia can quickly set in.
I love this picture because it captures his spirit.
What do you miss the most about Connor?
His laugh. I miss his laugh.
Dorothy Connor is still grieving for her son, a University of Vermont freshman who died last year of hypothermia after a night of drinking at 2 fraternity parties.
A lot of his friends referred to him as the dad because if they were starting to get out of control, then he would kind of corral them in, and you know, he was the one that made sure everybody got home.
Surveillance cameras caught her son's last moments. It was minus 35 with the wind chill. He had a coat, but no hat or gloves.
He had maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get where he needed to be, and that would be sober, not sweaty. Just the odds were against him that night.
With time running out, Connor came to a fence, but when he couldn't climb it, he laid down in the snow, exhausted.
We have a caller. He believes he's found someone who's passed away in the snow.
Buddy, can you hear me?
Police found him the next morning, but it was already too late.
I got a phone call from our call center that said that the state troopers were trying to contact me. So at that point, I started to try to call my children. I called my oldest son and got voicemail, called my middle son, got voicemail, and I called Connor and his phone was dead. So at that moment I knew that something had happened to him. You could see his footprints tracking where he was and where he walked around in the back. At one spot you could see his face imprint in the snow.
Dorothy went back to the parking lot where her son spent his last moments.
This is not the place that I would want my son to pass away alone behind a dumpster in a snowbank.
What's your message to students across the country?
When you leave to go out with your friends, you come back with those same friends. Had that been the case for Connor that night, things would have been much different.
Dorothy now travels to different schools, sharing her son's story and an important message for students.
What it boils down to for me is being humane and caring about each other and paying attention to what's going on around you and what's happening to the people around you, and caring, being a good person.
Look, I'm so warm. I'm so warm and toasty now. Thank you. Thank you.
If this could happen to Connor, this could happen to anyone. I feel like if I can save one family or one other person from experiencing what we've experienced, then it's worth it.
Connor's mom hopes everyone will remember, if you're out with friends, make sure they get home safely.